back to the class, everyone. We have finally made it. After much request from our last two videos, we are going to be talking about the Galactic Legend prep for Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt is the most recent Galactic Legend to come out. He is my most recent Galactic Legend, so this is very fresh in my mind, and it's going to be a great time to talk about. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and go over what the whole point of this video is once again. The point is, when you farm up a Galactic Legend, typically they have a boatload of requirements, somewhere around 15, and you're not going to be able to do that all at once. You're going to have to do it slowly over a process of time. So the whole point of this video is to A, tell you which ones you should do first, so that you can go ahead and already start taking advantage of all those characters and separate teams that have nothing to do with the Galactic Legend, but it's also how you can fill your roster out in such a way that it's actually worth, bear with me here, it's actually worth getting a little bit sidetracked during your Galactic Legend farm to go and finish the squads or the half squads that you're already building. What do I mean by that? So a clear example here is you're gonna need Han Solo. He is required for Jabba the Hutt. You can't get Jabba the Hutt without Han Solo. You're also gonna need Jedi Luke, also requirements. If you have Jedi Luke, you have already unlocked CLS, 3PO, and Chewbacca to unlock him. So all you need now for the premium Rebel team, the best Rebel team out there, is 3PO and Chewie. So the whole point of this list is, again, to A, tell you which order you should go in, but also what characters are you missing to really get the most benefit from going after Jabba. So we're going to start with the S tier list again. The tiers aren't trying to put these characters in a box and say Fennec is an S tier and well, I guess that's kind of true. Fennec is an S tier and Mando is an A tier. Like, it's not trying to standardize them in that way. It's saying that you should go against these first because they're going to give you the most value first. So again, Fennec is at the very top of the list here. Really, she is a requirement for the Jabba the Hutt. The amount of stuff that she's going to bring to the bounty hunter team is incredible, particularly against a Galactic Legend being Lord Vader. That being said, she can't do any of that on her own. Fennec, really outside of Grief, can't touch Lord Vader. Can't do anything. Not very good at all. So we're going to be adding both Grief and Bossk, and your Bossk is really essential to any 5v5 bounty hunter team. He's very useful in a lot of 3v3 situations. Maybe not the ideal exactly for that Fennec counter, but if you want bounty hunters to really go and counter a lot of other things, the turn order, how you have it was set up between Bossk and Grief, so they both go super quickly in the very beginning. They both call 2 Mastiffs and immediately have contract. It is really important for really any bounty hunter team out there. So the 3 of them are going to be in the S tier rank. Again, these 2 are not actual requirements. And the other 2 are Jedi Luke and Han Solo. Just fantastic characters. Typically, when we've been doing these reviews, both the S tier and the A tier characters are just characters that everyone should have at relics, regardless if they're going after Jabba or C, or I don't care. Just fantastic in their fields, what they're doing, what they're being able to counter, what they're being able to take down. Jedi Luke, you'll notice we won't really have another slot, or we won't have any Jedi in this. And the reason why is because A, he's the lone Jedi here, so we'd actually have to add about 4 to really flesh out the team. And on top of that, the dude kind of works in a lot of different ways. Like, I thought about putting Jedi Knight Revan here, but you don't really need Jedi Knight Revan. Like, he can do things on his own lead, and he doesn't need a super great cast to do it. He'll take Hoda and some scrubs and just run around a lot of the teams at the point that you unlock him. So overall, very good. Han Solo, we touched on, he's amazing. The shoot first ability, the CLS team is one of the most premier teams right now, even without being a Galactic Legend. And we'll probably need it for another Galactic Legend here really soon, but we won't talk about that right now. Next up is going to be the A tier list. So the whole point of ushering in these characters now is to kind of complement the ones in the S tier. And actually, now that I think about it, now that I look at it, not a single one of these characters is a requirement for Jabba. That's fun. But the reason why they're here is because Zam, what she's going to do, she is really good with Fennec and Bossk and Grief and Mando. She is not necessarily essential, but what she is going to be more essential for when we're building up to our Jabba comp, you'll notice that we haven't actually talked about Boucher Chrysanthemum at all, and they're like super good in Jabba. Well, the problem there is, before Jabba comes out, they're really bad. And the only way to kind of even turn them into a filler team is to aim for a thermal detonator, aim team with say, Boba lead, and Zam is not only going to help facilitate the thermals, but if you have her GAC Omicron, which we do, she is going to add a huge amount of stats to this team and just make it really stinking hard to kill, especially with everything that Chrysanthemum is doing, and because our Boba Fett, which is going to be another requirement, is a Hutt cartel leader, we also get some added benefit because of that. And then Mando, he's not hardcore needed, but there are some Lord Vader fights where he is super stinking helpful if they have a high relic railguard, which not everyone does, but some do, which is why he's kind of falling in the A tier. He's also just good in general with the way he's generating turn meter from critting. 3PO, we really already explained why he's here. You already have pretty much everything for the premium CLS team. You might as well finish him. And also, I don't know if you guys have picked up a theme here, but those two are also Galactic Legend requirements in their own right for Lord Vader and for JML. Next up is B tier. Again, we're starting to run into the area of making a secondary bounty hunter team in preparation for Jabba. Aura Singh and Boba Fett, they really help kind of continue that. Boba Fett can be used as a second lead for some thermals, or even Aura can actually be used as a second lead. She'd probably be your first lead, and then maybe you kick out Bosk. I don't know, you decide. Either way, their 3 leads are all pretty good when we're considering filler options. So Aura's here, and then they're both required for Jabba, so we have to do them at some point. So they kind of just help push everything out. Next up is going to be the C tier. So we'll go ahead and address the elephant in the room right now, and that is 3PO. Why is 3PO a C tier level character? And the reason why is, if you have Jedi Knight Luke in the S tier, your 3PO is already R3, you don't need an R7 3PO. In fact, nobody really does. It's nice, sure, he's tankier, which is why he's not in the D tier, but not something at all you need to prioritize. Get him to R3, get him working, throw some, I don't know, Datacron. It's going to make no difference at level 3 on him, and have fun with it. But yeah, the other characters in here, they're also not doing a whole lot. The whole point of this, number one, Chrysanthemum, Boushh, and Greedo, they're all requirements, so you have to go after them. But you can make a pretty nice secondary filler bounty hunter team with, again, Boba lead for the thermal synergy, Boushh and Chrysanthemum there. Chrysanthemum loves kind of having Boba as a Hutt cartel leader. And then Greedo, I really have not seen him do anything impressive at all, but yes, thermals, he's a bounty hunter. He's probably better than Jawa. And then I put Embo in here just because I really love Embo with Jabba the Hutt himself. This probably isn't a hard requirement. You can use Game Guard, but I really like Embo for the amount of both damage, survivability, and assist that he constantly calls in, because he's able to attack twice once he gets his payout there. And then our very worst requirements, the one you should leave for dead last, are going to be these guys. So I guess we have another elephant in the room here, and that is Skiff Guard. Skiff Guard is amazing under Jabba. Very cool, very good. Probably in every single comp that you can imagine. The issue is, I have not seen him do anything even remotely impressive outside of the Jabba team. I mean, like, I guess you can put him on a dash team, and he'll maybe give someone defense penetration or, armor shred or something. I just don't... I don't see the viability, especially with him being such a heavy Cairo character. I would much rather take advantage, again, of Boushh's secondary team, or just a lot of the premium characters like Jedi Knight Luke or Han Solo before even thinking about going after him. He's okay, but yeah, he was probably the last that got geared for me. And the rest, Mob Enforcer, Game Guard, it's really self-explanatory. They're just not good characters in the current meta. Jawa and I do have to make a little bit of an excuse for. Their teams aren't totally useless, and in fact, Ur's Tusken team is probably going to be very stinking good in the upcoming raid. That it's going to need a lot of work. The issue is, and this is similar to Jedi Knight Luke, but also very different because these characters aren't Jedi Knight Luke, you can't really go out of your way. You can't justify gearing up and relicking 4 other Tuskens or 4 other Jawas before you go for Jabba. Maybe while, like, after, like let's say you get this and you've already done Lord Vader, so you probably already have the Tusken Raider up and running, so it's not that big of a hole to dig yourself into. So maybe you go after the fact, but I really can't justify telling anyone that, you need, especially right now, like, you cannot be taking a break from Jabba, at least if you're going to be efficient, taking a break from Jabba and going over to the Tusken Chieftain Warrior and buying them out of crystal shipments. Like, that's not good resource management. If you want to, because you love Tuskens, go all for it, but, the whole point of this video is to show how can we be most efficient with the resources that we have, because regardless of your playstyle, they are all somewhat limited. So, Jabba's gonna end up here too. I know they can do fancy things versus like Mon Mothma and Geos and stuff like that, but I I can't tell anyone in good conscience to, you know, gear up all of your Jawas if you don't have like all the Galactic Legends as well as the premium ships that are currently out there. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there was another character that we missed. Really, I think this was pretty comprehensive, and at the end of the day, you should get a really good bounty hunter team. You should get a filler bounty hunter team. You should have a full rebel team, and then even we'll have Jedi Knight Luke left over, as if those two words go together, and he can be thrown again into any Jedi team or even his own under his own lead. So that is going to cover today. Let me know in the comments again what other characters you think might be helpful for people who are in this farm, and also let me know which one of these you want to see next. We've had a lot of requests for specifically JML, but I think I've seen SLKR's name thrown around as well. Let me know what you guys think, and as always, stay awesome.